Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another rendition of the Bros and the Berg podcast. Oh, I'm starting that over. I'm starting. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another rendition of the Berg and the Bros
No,
podcast.
other way
I'm your
around.
talent.
Other way around. Bros in the Berg.
I can't do it tonight. I don't know what's going on with me.
All right, well, Ryan is tapping out of introducing us tonight. Welcome to the Bros in the Berg podcast. My name is Robbie Bergstein. I can actually speak properly. We have Connor Doyle, who will be cutting out all the attempts we made before this one.
That's me.
And Ryan, who is, I don't know what Ryan's doing tonight. I really have no idea.
I need to be euthanized. That's just what we're going with right now. I hope to acquire grip at some point in this hour to hour and a half long special.
Hopefully you'll figure it out.
Doubtful, but maybe.
Doubtful.
Yeah.
Press X for doubt.
This is we're recording this the Tuesday after the Super Bowl. Hell of a game. I would argue that this is probably, after the divisional round and after all the wild cards, probably the best NFL playoffs ever.
It was weird that it was like a 3-point game. But like, honestly, like, wasn't that exciting of a game.
Yeah.
Like, the second half, both offenses just shut down.
It was just a
Third quarter
slow
was
burn.
buns.
Second half was very not entertaining. It was entertaining in terms of, like, it was very strategic and very back and forth, but it was just like there was no yardage being had on like either side.
Right.
Yep. Big storyline. A couple big storylines, even with the injuries too. Like OBJ going down. What was that? It's like second quarter.
Yeah, second quarter.
Non-contact injury. I don't. Have they confirmed if it was an ACL or anything, or it's just
Not that I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
Didn't look good. Burrow was sacked again an egregious amount of times after leading the league in the regular season. Was sacked. It was like 50 something, which is insane.
He had 6 in the second half.
Yeah.
And they only lost by 3.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
I mean, if only somebody had predicted perfectly the final score of the Super Bowl.
We gotta give it up.
I bet you could make a lot of money if you did that.
That's
you could make
crazy.
a lot of money.
Props to the Berg over here for putting $5 and turning it into 500 like it was absolutely nothing.
And I do want to state that was the only like final score prediction I made. Like, I didn't like go out and make a couple of those. Like, I put in this one bet for it being 23-20 Rams. That was the only final score bet that I put in. So
and he also had the correct cover, the correct under, while Connor and I are literal monkeys at it as a zoo, throwing shit at the wall and losing lots of money.
We do come from the same
betting.
We do come from the same gene pool, so it kind of makes sense that we're both, Yeah, Rob, we gotta. I mean, what inclined you to make that exact bet? Did you just think there was going to be a lot of field goals, or what was your reasoning?
Well, so I back up my picks on this podcast with money, of course, because as one does. And I said that it was going to hit the under, and I said that the Bengals are going to cover it. I said it'd be a 3-point game, and I thought it would be close to hitting the over. So 23-20. I mean, you were about 2 points short of hitting the over. So I felt like that was a good pick. Now, I got bailed out by the Tony Romo of the hold. But actually, when that happened, I really did think, I was like, wow, that's actually really good for my bet. Like, that actually really did pan out.
Yeah.
Who was that player? Who was the holder?
It was the punter, Hecker, I think.
You should like give him $50 off of that bet.
Bro, he makes like millions of dollars a year. He's
he literally made $50 while fumbling that hold.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
He probably made more in that game than my entire salary for the year.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be
you
all right.
hate to see that.
And arguably the second, or I guess third biggest to your betting story off the Super Bowl is Eli Apple getting absolutely trolled on Twitter by every single NFL receiver.
Oh my gosh.
It's so
bad. Man, I mean, if you're going to talk shit, at least back it up,
It's crazy to see his former teammates at Ohio State talking shit to him like that, though. Like, Michael Thomas is out there, like, roasting this man. It's like, dude, y'all were, like, teammates.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a feeling Eli Apple is not a very popular man.
No.
I read a story from the Saints where Michael Thomas and Apple would go at it in practice, and Thomas would win the majority of like the one-on-ones and jump balls and whatever. And you just go over to the D coordinator and be like, please get somebody that can actually guard me.
Damn.
I saw he said the same thing to Urban Meyer too. He said, "Urban, you need to recruit some guys that can actually play cornerback."
Yeah. Very, very funny. But great game. Great halftime show.
Yep.
I know some people. I actually asked my mom and dad this because they were at a party for people of their own age, and I was curious what the older demographic thought of the halftime show, and they said they weren't really watching it, so they weren't really good sources and information for that. But I thought it was cool. All of our bets fell short on the first song.
I just flipped it. I flipped it around. It was at the end, so the beginning.
Mine was second. California Love came on second, so I was right there.
Imagine not having your song.
I mean, played. I wish that it would. I didn't like Kendrick's song choice. I thought
I didn't either.
I thought it was bad. Like, completely honestly, I didn't think it made much sense.
I thought he had a good performance though. Like, he was the only one that you could tell was like legitimately like rapping.
Yeah, no, I have no problems with how he performed. I'm just the song itself. I didn't think made sense in terms of like the whole thing.
I was geeking when 50 came on.
I was so confused. I was like, oh, why did 50 come on with no advertisement?
Yeah, like where did he come from?
He just like showed up to a box at the Super Bowl, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to like do a song?"
I said he was like the character that Marvel like edits out of the trailers that you don't know is going to be there, and he just shows up in the movie. Like that was 50 Cent for this halftime show.
It's cool that he did the thing where he was in the other halftime show where he was like upside down. He kind of referenced.
That's from his music video.
Or excuse me, yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Another thing that none of our bets came true. Drake didn't wear a jersey to the Super Bowl.
What team was he repping?
Show him?
No, I saw some pictures on Twitter. He wasn't repping anybody. He just had like street clothes on. Yeah, he didn't have any jersey on.
Got an actual Drake. He took that shit off when OBJ got hurt.
Well, that's what I was. That's exactly what I thought. Was that he just took it off as soon as OBJ got hurt.
So there was a Volkswagen and a Taco Bell commercial. Was there a Cricket Wireless commercial?
No, there was not.
All?
There was not a Cricket Wireless.
There's that single one
too.
There was a crypto one.
Crypto one.
Yeah, crypto and Volkswagen.
Bro, there were a lot of crypto ones. Like it wasn't just crypto.com.
I kind of figured that was gonna happen.
Bro, go ahead, Ryan.
No, I just continued speaking without having any substance.
Fair enough. Just like you do most weeks now.
Dude, where did you leave your brain today, Ryan? What class just took out your brain today?
Yeah,
I had a test this morning at 9:30. It was in Du's class. It wasn't like super difficult, but I was up kind of late. Just working. Of course, the business school makes everything due in 1 week, usually out of a month, and so that's just kind of been this week. I was up way too late, and I hit some like pretty heavy weight last night and didn't get enough sleep to recover from that, and then I had the test, and I came home and had a nap, and I'm not very good after taking a nap. I never nap, so here we are.
Well, I was saying that I think like the commercials. So in the past 5 or 6 years, I think the commercials have steadily like decreased in the quality of like if you think a Super Bowl commercial, I think it's decreased in like terms of if its stature. I think this year it actually went up a little bit. It's not on the same level as it was before, but I think it went up a little bit. And I got to give props. I can't remember which crypto.
Coinbase.
Was it the QR code one, or it was like bouncing around? Because they knew their audience. They knew they're like, you guys are gonna scan this, and everybody did because everyone was like, "What is this?" And then one of the friends I was watching with was like, "I'm gonna scan it," and then it was like, "It's a effing crypto."
That was me. I was literally like, "I'm gonna scan it." Like I have to.
Exactly.
It was marketed absolutely perfectly for who they were going after. For that's our age demographic, right?
Yeah,
that's like the 15, probably like 10 years older than Robbie and I, and maybe like 5 years younger than you, Connor, like that whole age group for like the fucking bouncing in the corner and all that. That was marketed perfectly, and they spent like $20 to actually make
exactly. It's such a good commercial. Yeah.
So that was super well done. I think the first one was Toyota, if I remember correctly, and it took me.
It was.
Yeah, it was Toyota. Yeah.
I don't know if it was a 30 or a 1 minute ad, and it took me 29 or 59 seconds to figure out what the hell they were advertising.
Yeah.
I am curious. I noticed it was the Toyota halftime show as well. Like, you think it's like a normal thing, like the first commercial after kickoff, like is related to the halftime show?
Oh no, Pepsi was the
Super Bowl. There's the halftime show that I like the halftime like breakdown was Toyota.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So
it's possible.
Something to keep in mind going forward. Yeah. Maybe some correlation, probably not, but you never know.
Yeah, it's so many advertisements. The Super Bowl is like the biggest U.S. stage for any kind of marketing or advertisement campaign. But I remember my dad and I were talking about it during college football bowl season. Because you have the Rose Bowl, right? Presented by what was it this year? Is it? I always forget.
PlayStation? No. Fiesta Bowl was PlayStation because that was Oklahoma State.
Regardless, but it's the
It was
Rose Bowl
C for a while.
presented by X, right? But all these other bowls, because they kept the naming rights, but all these other bowls are like presented by PlayStation, like the Fiesta Bowl. And it's like I wish they would just like lead with the actual name of the bowl instead of like whoever's advertising it. I just think it's kind of stupid.
I totally agree with your bowl point, Ryan, about college games, and it gets kind of annoying the over advertisement in terms of, hey, this is why like you said, just say it's this bowl presented by this company. Like it achieves the same exact effect without sounding as stupid. But to get back to the actual football in the Super Bowl, the kind of the unspoken, even though they lost, I would say the unspoken MVP. Can we give it up for the Bengals D line? The Bengals D-line was everywhere. Holy crap.
The Rams could not run the ball.
Akers had I was looking at the stat earlier. Hold on, let me check it real quick. It was Akers had 13 carries for 21 yards.
Yeah.
And the long was 8, so basically 12 for, 11.
Yeah.
For 13. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And they're getting some pressure on Stafford. I mean, they really clogged it up and kept them in the game when their offense. I mean, it looked like they're going to run away with it for a little bit. They hit that big T. Higgins play, which probably should have been a penalty.
Yeah.
And then they got that pick, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, are they going to pull away and win this thing? But just kind of all went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very common that you see a team in the -2 in the turnover category still win the game, especially in like a Super Bowl and stuff like that. At one point, I think the Bengals had like a 90% chance to win. That's when they're on like the 1 yard line, threatening to score there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy game. Again, shout out to Evan McPherson. The man was literally perfect in the postseason.
Can't do anything else.
And he got to watch that too. So.
Yep.
Yeah, he did. He was vibing. That was funny.
So funny. Yeah, Higgins was huge with like half of his 4 catches, 2 touchdowns, 100 yards. I mean, especially when the defense is paying that much attention to Chase. Both teams just had so many weapons on offense, and the under still hit pain.
The Bengals lost this game whenever they made Aaron Donald mad. Yeah, that little scuffle on the sideline, and you could just tell after that play, like he just went on another level because he was shut out in the first half. I mean, he didn't do anything the first half.
Yeah,
and then they kind of figured out
replays of him being triple teamed.
Yeah, he was getting triple teamed.
Right. And the Rams at halftime finally schemed a way for him to not get triple teamed. So
Aaron Donald was pissing me off this game. I'm not gonna lie. He was just annoying.
Because he's so good.
No, he just pissed me off. Like in general, like that whole scuffle on the sideline, like. Of course, the O-line's going to do that. There was no reason for you to shove Burrow out of bounds when he was clearly he was clearly going to go out of bounds.
But he was still in bounds.
Yeah, it was a late hit.
I know it's not. No, I'm not arguing it's a late hit. I'm just saying there's no point. Like of course the O-linemen are going to get in your face.
What if he did the Kenny Pickett fake slide? The Kenny Pickett,
but that's illegal.
Fake out of bounds.
What if he did it to a running back? Would it be different?
Yes, probably.
Yeah, in terms of it would be.
Okay, they're both players running the ball.
Yeah, but you know what kind of reaction you're going to get from the O-line is what I'm saying.
I mean, if it was Cam Newton out there, he would have got his head taken off, and everyone would have just
O-line
would have been fine. Like we would have just been all right. Well, this is what we're doing.
So I feel like we also kind of well, also another props to the Bengals defensive player Logan Wilson, number 55. He was he's usually their Mike, I think. He was also all over the place, and he played an incredible game. But I feel like we got to talk about that last drive because there were some calls that people are not in agreement with, and I will say it. I think that the pass interference that they called, was it like the second flag they threw? The pass interference, or it might have been the holding that they called.
The holding was the worst.
I think
call.
The
holding was really bad.
I think that was a makeup call for the non-face mask call from T. Higgins when T. Higgins got the 75 yard. I think that was a makeup call, legitimately.
I don't know who it was, and Rob, it might have been you in the group chat. Like, the refs didn't get enough airtime, so that's why 3 flags in 3 plays.
Oh, they'd been fine, exactly. They'd been fine the whole game, and then they just they needed the spotlight.
Yeah, they needed their quota of time on the screen. Or Goodell called down and said, "Yo, there are not enough flags in this game. Like we got to get those numbers up."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from the Jalen Ramsey face mask or like OPI thing, I didn't think there were any other like egregious
No.
misses
I don't either.
from the refs, which was nice. I mean, the game then went faster because of that.
Yeah.
Which was kind of nice.
Well, and even in relation to the Ramsey thing, I think you could somewhat make an excuse because the line judge couldn't see it from the angle that he was at. He was like behind him, and I don't know where. To be fair, I don't know where the referee in the middle of the field was looking. So that was probably more his fault. But that's more passable than that holding call was absolutely abysmal.
Yeah,
it was perfect defense. Perfect defense.
Watching the game with the Saints fan, I was laughing because, you know, if you follow football a couple years ago in the NFC Championship when there was probably one of the most egregious missed calls in all of NFL history happened to the Saints and the Rams for the no call and the pass interference. And so the Saints didn't go to the Super Bowl because of that.
The Rams.
And so watching the Rams get screwed by something like that, even though they ended up winning, was very amusing to me.
Yeah, the Rams never get calls, so it was good to see them come out on top, in one of those PI calls because they've never gotten those before.
Never,
not even once.
And props to McVay, props to Stafford finally getting his, props to OBJ finally getting his, props to Donald, props to Miller, all those guys getting there.
So can we talk about the Matthew Stafford versus Aaron Rodgers thing because they now have the same amount of Super Bowl titles?
You mean in terms of their legacy?
Yeah.
You see Richard Sherman basically roasted Stafford today because he was like, there's no way in hell he's a Hall of Famer.
You know who actually threw for more yards per game?
Stafford this season, or what do you mean?
No, in his career, Stafford has thrown for more yards per game than Aaron Rodgers.
I totally believe that. The Lions have an awful running game.
That's true, actually.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck it. Like, Megatron down there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, but Rodgers could say the same thing about Devontae. Devontae down there somewhere. Megatron's bigger, though, so I get
It's literally he's getting triple team because who else did Stafford have to throw to in those early years in Detroit? Like, I
couldn't name you a single player.
I'm just saying if you told someone after Calvin Johnson left Detroit that Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers would end up with the same amount of Super Bowls in however many years, like no one would have believed you.
True.
And here we are that Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford each have one Super Bowl piece.
Very good point.
I mean, a lot of people did figure that the Rams were a good guy at the helm away from at least being in Super Bowl contention, right? They already made it. So
they had Jared Goff. What do you mean? They already had that guy.
Jared Golf.
Jared Golf.
Jared Golf.
I'm interested to see where his career goes. Yeah. I don't know how many more years he has on that contract.
He's in Detroit, so probably not well.
And also, Matt, I saw another stat, massive props to Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP, one of the best receiver seasons of all time. I saw a stat that said the only other receiver to have the receiver triple crown, a Super Bowl MVP, and an Offensive Player of the Year is Jerry Rice. And he did that. And he did that through his career. Kupp did it in one season.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That's absolutely ridiculous.
And he took over that game on that last drive. I think, if you changed out, but I think if you change out, Cooper Kupp gets injured in the second quarter and not OBJ, I don't think the Rams score on that drive. I mean, he just absolutely took over.
Yep.
The whoever the third string, what was his name? Whoever the third string tight end was actually pretty good. He got a few really clutch balls. I can't remember what his name was, but
quite serviceable.
He was because the second string was out. What was he out with? Was he injured too, or was it something else?
I don't remember.
Yeah, he was playing, and then he hurt his shoulder during the game.
Got it. Oh, and also there was celebrations to be had on the Ram side. Van Jefferson had a baby that same night. On the Super Bowl. That's incredible. So I mean, the Rams. There's so many people to be. As much as people wanted the Bengals to win, there's so many people to be happy for on the Rams just because they finally got theirs. I mean, there's a few guys you could probably speculate on. People think Donald might, even though he's not super old, he might call it quits. People think Miller might call it quits. Yeah, people like
Donald's in his early 30s.
I know. People are thinking that he might leave.
What one reporter before the game was like, I talked to Aaron and like if they win, like he would consider stepping away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting.
Even still, he's considered one of the best linemen of all time.
Yeah. Well, essentially the only thing he's missing at this point is becoming the first player to ever win 4 Defensive Player of the Years.
Yeah.
He has 3, and that's tied for the most. If he won one more, he'd be the first one to ever win 4.
Yeah. He's already a consensus Hall of Famer, and he's like 30.
Yeah.
So
save your body and get out.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that he's an inside D lineman with all those accolades is just absolutely insane.
Yep.
Just can't believe that. And for Cincinnati Bengals fans, I mean, it was a great showing. Mixon did well. Mixon had 15 rushes, 72 yards. Burrow, I mean, he got put in some bad situations. That last play where Burrow, I mean, so people were analyzing it because like Ramsey had tripped, and so like Jamar was wide open down the field, and Burrow was actually looking there, but as soon as he was about to release it, like he got hit, and so that's why he tried to flick it out, and he almost got that flick there to whoever it was. Yep. So he almost did.
That running back was right there.
Yeah, I know. You just gotta feel bad for him, but like I said, I don't, like we said before, and I know you said how hard it is to make the Super Bowl lobby. So obviously, other factors aside, I think the Bengals will be there at some point if they keep a lot of the same guys. But I mean, obviously that's all speculation. But Cincinnati, I think you guys have a good future in Burrow and Jamar. If Jamar stays, who knows with these guys.
Yeah. I didn't know how much work the Cincy front office had done on the defensive side of the ball. I think they had 7 new starters from 2020 that they had all done with free agency or drafting. So they really shored up that defense, and I think everyone knows what the focus is on the for the offensive line for the offseason. They're definitely going to be hot and heavy in the draft or on free agency. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see them again in the Super Bowl. Maybe not next year, but like I said, I thought they would be in a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. They did in the first year.
Yeah.
So one thing we omitted last week, we were talking about the AFC and the great quarterbacks in the AFC. And we just completely forgot about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, who are also a extremely good team and will probably be competing with those 3 teams we talked about last week.
Yeah, it was just a disgusting amount of injuries that they had this year that really derailed their season.
Well, Lamar, he finally got a number 1 target. Well, I mean, other than Andrews, he finally got a number 1 target in Marquise Brown. I don't in terms of how.
Do you think Hollywood repeats this season?
As good as he was last season?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's going to do that. I'm just saying that they have, the Ravens receiving core, will, at least the first couple, what year is this of Lamar's career coming up? 3, 4? 4?
4? 5.
No, it's not 5. I think it's 4.
I think it's 4 because he had his rookie season, then his MVP season, then last season. So I think
so this is 4. So that's what I'm saying. Throughout all of his, besides this last season, I mean, his first 2 seasons, other than Andrews, the Ravens receiving core was ass.
Yeah, he's also got Rashad Bateman too, who's going to be a solid receiver. I think.
Well, that's what I mean. Is he's finally got some weapons around him, and I know the running back situation is a little weird because they keep signing they have 4 guys to a committee, and obviously J.K. Dobbins got himself hurt, and Gus Edwards got hurt too.
Mm-hmm. So and Marcus Peters
and Marcus. It's just they had to sign. Who was the guy they signed off free agency? It was really old.
They signed Le'Veon Bell.
They signed Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell. They signed Devontae Freeman. Yeah. So they had issues with injuries, as Ryan said. So we'll definitely see the Ravens, I think.
Yep.
So I got my blue Gatorade prediction correct. I got my OBJ prediction half correct. I said it would be a 70+ yard bomb, which it was, just to T. Higgins. It was just different.
I don't know how that's half correct.
Yeah, I don't. That doesn't count at all.
The other team,
Ryan, your song wasn't even in the halftime show, so
your commercial wasn't even on TV.
But your mom doesn't love you.
Well,
she's gonna text me about that whenever she hears that for sure.
Robbie, you got the tails bet wrong. Ryan and I got the heads right.
At least I wasn't one of my friends who may or may not have put $500 on tails.
No way.
Was that friend named Spencer?
Maybe.
Talk about degenerates.
He texted me. He's like, "How much should I put on?" I was like, "Dude, I don't know. How much you want to put on?" He's like, "I'm thinking 500. I'm an adult." I'm like, "That doesn't change the fact that that's still $500."
Bro, you should have put
100 bones on a 50-50 shot. That's kind of wild.
I told him I'd buy him a drink next time we go out because I made
you're
$500.
Yeah, you're
I'm rich
rolling
now.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you put up $5. He put
Yeah,
up
you put up
500 to make like
Correct.
what, like $9.50 or whatever. It's
Yeah,
like
what's the
minus
point?
110.
You probably made like $480 or something like
That's
that.
so
Yeah.
much pain.
So not
Why?
bring even.
Yeah.
I just knew it was gonna be heads. Just had
Yeah,
that
me too.
inkling.
Yeah.
Just new.
Just knew, dude.
Just felt like, Ryan, your statistics analysis was correct. It started to go back in the 50-50 direction. Because that's how statistics work.
Like,
It's a
what
50-50
the
chance.
degree has taught me.
Every time. 50-50 chance.
Someone out there listening to this doesn't understand statistics and they're learning it all from Ryan, and that is not going to go well for
It's
them.
no,
Yeah,
not
please
at all.
drink responsibly. What?
What? Wait.
Anyways,
A drink sounds good right now.
7%.
That's
Remember, we're not
fair.
drinking for the next month.
Yeah, you said that, and then you went out to Wine Wednesday last week.
I didn't know LaDon was coming
exposed. You just got exposed.
I exposed him in our group chat too. Ryan really out here said, I'm not going to drink any more in the month of February. And then was like, I'm 3 bottles deep at Wine Wednesday.
Because they all wanted to go out. I'm like, all right,
Oh
Robbie
my
said
God.
February 14th. We'll start on February 14th.
It's okay. I got a text from Spencer this weekend. He was like, you want to go out drinking on Saturday for like this person's birthday? I was like, I mean, like, I don't, but like, it's also a birthday. So I feel like I can't say no.
It's just such a good offer.
That's just rude.
Yeah, honestly.
Amazing. Yeah, but the hardcore cut to spring break starts today.
Yeah.
No, we
And
gotta
I
work
need
on
to
this
get a
beach
grip.
bod. What'd you have for lunch?
I had a little like microwavable burrito.
Okay.
And
Guys, we're recording a
some,
podcast.
Yeah, this is the podcast.
This is the content people subscribe for.
It's not exclusively sports. It's also our very exciting lives.
Yeah, well,
I
Robbie,
didn't realize, something we don't talk about much, even though it's like a big hobby of all of ours. We
Women?
talk about video games on. Okay, that's not a hobby of ours. We don't get women.
You guys do anything fun for Valentine's Day?
I hung out with my girlfriend.
I cried myself to sleep.
I had a new PR on squad.
Yeah, you did. That was funny. That was funny.
Just to feel something broken.
Yep. Robbie, you have a very good point there, sir. We don't talk about video games. We don't talk about video games enough.
What video game are y'all most excited to come out this year?
Oh, I don't even. There's actually.
I really don't follow it that much.
Yeah,
I
I
like
don't
a
follow
slight
releases.
rotation of games that I've really played.
There is I'm gonna get like a nerd alert for this. There is like a really RPG based Harry Potter game coming out this year, which looks really
I
cool.
also want to play that for
It
sure.
looks really cool because you can be
Yeah,
like
they're-
anything.
There's a 100% chance of within the first year of me working my job, I'm going to get a Switch and like get really back into Pokemon. I really play it on like my emulator and stuff.
Ryan, I already did.
Did you get Arceus?
That's literally what I did.
Nice.
No,
You
I
got
haven't got
the
I haven't gotten
Arceus?
Arceus yet. I've been working on Shining Pearl. There we go.
Yes, sir.
So
I love
I've been playing Breath of the Wild too. So I figured I'd try to beat
Classic.
those and then go get Arceus.
I've been replaying Fallout 4. Love me Fallout 4.
You do love. You're
I
a
love
huge
Fallout
homer
4.
for Fallout 4.
I
How many
love
times
Fallout.
have you played that?
This is my second character. I just got real. I got like way too high leveled my first character, and so now I just don't remember the main quest.
I distinctly remember first 2 weeks of freshman year, Cam had his PS4, and I stayed up for 8 hours and played Fallout 4 straight through the night.
It's so good. I love Fallout 4 so much.
And shocking, I did not go to class the next day.
Yeah.
Ryan, we never skipped. Whoa! We never skipped class.
I was so much better about attendance when I was in like freshman and sophomore year.
That's not even true, Ryan. Our
It
attendance
definitely is true.
It still wasn't great freshman or sophomore year either.
Oh
Not
my
by
god.
a lot.
By like percentages, like 1 or 2 here and there.
Statistics.
What do you want?
There were definitely weeks.
Connor, this is a safe space, right? That
Yeah.
Nothing that you're gonna say here will come back to haunt you in any kind of way.
Mom,
So, like,
mom
give
and
me
dad
a
listen to this. Yeah.
Give me a percentage of like, if the class isn't mandatory, as in like you don't get points off for not attending. What's our attendance rate like?
It depends on how hard the class is. Well, okay, to be fair, so the classes that I've had
How do you hear that?
the classes that I've had so far, a couple of them have been hybrid, which means like you can choose online or like the in-person format. And because of COVID, mine's been very different from y'all's.
And so you lobbed that online, right? You absolutely lobbed that online. Are you kidding?
Okay, for my first semester accounting class, I did pretty much lob it online.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
I mean, but the problem is, like, especially being in the classes that I'm in, like, and especially because it's, business classes, they require a lot of attendance. Like, most of my classes require attendance. Like, they take a grade based on your attendance, which is so annoying.
Higher level engineering class, they just don't give a shit, and if you don't show up, it's up to you.
Yeah, if you don't show up, you're not going to pass the class.
Yeah,
so
well, that's what I mean. Is like
I care about like taking attendance.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is I'm still in like the entry level business classes, and so they're like, "Oh, you have to come to this because you have to get like the concepts or whatever."
3 points, honestly. Remember, it was like 10% of my grade for attendance. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as it's not 8 a.m., I'll be there.
I mean, I've only really like in terms of skipping classes, I've probably like 2 to 3. Like, I don't really skip class.
I skip one a day.
I say that's a week for Ryan.
That's one day.
Semesters, you're not wrong. Honest to God, I think there was literally a week last semester. I think I skipped 3 straight days of classes.
Right.
It was wild. I don't know what was going on. I think I was just down abysmal.
Mom and dad are paying a lot of money for you to attend.
Yeah, and school. They're paying a lot of money, and I'm getting great grades. I mean, I'm getting grades.
Great grades.
I'm getting
grades. You're not locking down that 4.0 in NBA school?
Oh, no shot. 0 chance.
Is there absolutely any way that you could somehow, boost it to that 4.0?
No, because you can't get pluses in grad school.
Understood. Does Alabama do it like it's just? Do they do pluses and minuses at like an undergrad?
Undergrad, they do. Yeah.
No, we don't.
And you get an A plus, which is a like 4.33 towards you. So you can have over a 4 at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma State just says A, B, C, D, F.
Yeah, that's how grad school is at Alabama. They don't do plus.
I ran the numbers for last semester. I would have had a higher GPA if I was on the plus or minus system.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. I have some things to say about certain people because of that. Anyways, so I think we should transition a little bit from our personal lives into the NBA. Coming up on the All-Star break, and there was a lot of happenings with the trade deadline. Exclusively one that got a lot of attention.
Forgot about that.
The Montrezl Harrell to the Hornets.
Yeah.
I gotta go. The James Harden trade. And for all the listeners that might not be familiar with all the aspects of the trade, so essentially the 76ers got James Harden, the kingpin of the trade, and our boy Paul Millsap. The Nets got Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, a 22 first-rounder, and a 27 first-rounder.
Why did you call Harden a kingpin? Like he's out here like running the mafia or something.
I meant
he's like a villain of the Marvel
player of the trade.
You could have said like the centerpiece or like
kiss each other already.
I said kingpin. Do you have a problem with the word that I chose?
Bro, Harden got off the plane and someone took a picture of him and he said he lost 30 pounds since being in Brooklyn. On the flight over, I was like, oh my god.
I mean, sorry to Robbie's girlfriend, but ain't no way I'd want to live in Philly. Woof.
I was just there this weekend.
In an interview today, he said that Philly was always the place. He said that he always wanted to be. He said that Philly was always his first choice.
Oh, what a load of shit.
That's what he said. I'm just saying that's what he said in the press conference.
He said that's where he wanted to be traded last year, too.
He said that's what he said in the press conference.
He probably wanted to be traded without Simmons there.
Yeah.
So rather than talk about the basketball impact of this, y'all want to break down Joel Embiid's memes? Because that was probably the best thing to come out.
That was so funny. Dude, and the fact that he tried,
suit.
Yeah, he tried to pass it off like it wasn't about the trade. He was like, no, I just thought it was a funny picture.
He's like, I thought he was just dressed nice. It's like, no, like, you know exactly what the caption of that picture is.
He's such a goober.
For those of you that don't know, Joel Embiid tweeted a picture of this nicely dressed man, and it comes from a picture on Instagram in which this individual posted this picture, and the caption was, showed up to my biggest hater's funeral just to make sure he was dead. So that was Joel Embiid making sure that Ben Simmons was dead.
Oh
It's
man.
laughing so hard, like when the 76ers tweeted like a picture of Simmons, Curry, and Drummond, and be like, thank you for like the time playing with us, all this kind of stuff, and people were just like, photoshopping Simmons out and be like, hey, Curry and Drummond, the homies for real, gonna miss him.
Yeah.
I feel like people aren't giving enough props to the trade in general. I think people aren't giving enough props to the Philadelphia GM because he waited. He sat on Ben Simmons and is like, I am going to get a high piece for him, and he did. I mean, you gotta give him props. He had the patience that no one else thought he was gonna land something like that.
Yeah,
for Ben Simmons.
I think it was the best that they could have done.
Yeah, probably.
Right? Like, you're giving us still 2 first rounders. But it is James Harden, right? If he's healthy, he's still a top 5 scoring option in the league, even though he's getting a little older.
And he plays really well with Joel Embiid. Like I think his play style is going to align really well with Joel.
Yeah, I think it's going to go well with Maxey too.
Yeah, and I mean, Embiid's already proven like he can win games by himself. I mean, like he's been doing it all year, and now you add in Harden who can do the same thing. Like I think they're going to be a very dangerous team come playoff time. They might not have a big 3, but they have a really really strong big 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think they're going to work incredibly well together.
Yeah,
I think the Nets make out like bandits, right? I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Steph is really coming to his own these last few years. I mean, I really wish Dallas had re-signed him. God, I was pissed when we let him walk.
Yeah, we'll talk about Dallas in a second.
I don't want to. I was sitting in Buffalo Phil's irate at what was happening. There was a little bit of depth with Curry and Drummond. I mean, the Sixers do. But I think Ben's gonna do really well in Brooklyn. I think.
Yeah, I do too.
I think they're going to try to fix him and do whatever he can. I mean, besides shooting, dude, he's an all-star player.
Yeah.
And besides him being a head ass, he's an all-star player.
It was just like in the playoffs before he stopped playing for Philly. He just had some really bad moments, and then people just blew it out of proportion. Like when he had that one play where he had a wide open dunk and then passed it, and people just absolutely like that. Honestly, was the start of the end because people were like, "Oh my god."
Well, I think shooting 4 for 11 from the line and was like,
yeah, but Luka's kind of he's better this season, but Luka's also been like kind of a poopy free throw shooter. LeBron's not a great free throw shooter.
Yeah, but LeBron's also the greatest player of all time.
Whoa.
This week.
Sorry, we have to divulge in that now. But I think Simmons can fit in Brooklyn too, but you have to see if you can get Kyrie to play off the ball.
Yeah.
Like Kyrie is gonna have to slide almost more into a 2 role because you don't want Simmons doing it because he can't shoot. So you have to have Simmons at the 1 distributing and have Kyrie kind of slide off and play the 2.
But I feel like
I just don't know.
Kyrie's already proven that though, because Harden, whenever, and to be fair, they only played 16 games together, Durant, Harden, and Kyrie.
Yeah.
But Harden was the one. Every time they played together, Harden was always the one, and Kyrie was the 2. And to be fair, I didn't realize how good of a passer Harden was until they put him at point guard, and then he started averaging like triple doubles. He was averaging like 12 assists at some point, like a season ago or something. But so I agree. I think Kyrie, it'll be again an adjustment, just like as it will be whenever you get a big player. It's going to be an adjustment for the team in general. We'll see how Steve Nash handles it. But yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with Brooklyn. Also very interested to see what happens with Philadelphia. Back to what the other trade that I was mentioning, the Dallas Mavericks traded away Kristaps Porzingis and a 2nd round pick for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans. Excuse me.
You got Spencer Dinwiddie. That's a win.
I like Spencer Dinwiddie.
Contracts are man, I'm so bent out of shape.
I like Dinwiddie, but he does not work on Dallas. Like in terms of Luka, he does not work. Like I don't see him like fitting at all in Dallas's system because Luka is so freaking ball dominant, and Dinwiddie I think plays better with the ball in his hand. And I like Dinwiddie, and he's been having a down season because he's coming off an injury. But can we talk about Davis Bertans getting paid $16 million to put up 5, 2, and 0.5 when he's 6'10" and he's only averaging 2 rebounds?
This man's not even sniffing the court for the fucking Wizards, man.
$16 million a year. Okay, and also people need to stop crapping on Cuban. Cuban is not the GM. Mark Cuban is not the GM of the Dallas Mavericks. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, Cuban need to fire him."
Well,
Like,
it's
he's
just
not the
honestly,
GM.
Dallas fans are so used to the owner being super
But,
involved. Hello,
okay, we're
Joe.
gonna sit here and act like Cuban wasn't in on a lot of these
No,
trades. Like Cuban
yeah.
knows what's going on. Like,
He's
no,
a
he's
very
not pulling the
handsome
trigger.
owner.
Yeah.
He's probably a more involved owner than the majority voter, but still, he's not the GM. He's not in the final. I mean, he is the final, but like,
Speaking
what I
of GMs, are we surprised LeBron didn't make any moves at the trade deadline?
GM.
Late
Yeah.
GM.
the Lakers are just gonna let it ride, I guess. I suppose.
So they're gonna let it ride into the play-in and then
Yeah.
not make the playoffs. I mean, yeah, cheers. But
what else? I don't know. I don't know what they could have done. Nobody really wants Westbrook.
I guess I'm still on the Mavs thing. I mean, this has been the best value KP's had in the last 2 years, and
Yeah, it
that's
has.
what you get for him?
Mhm.
Really? I don't know, man. I feel like at that point, like you're trading again the best piece, right? He's better than those two jokers.
Yeah, a lot.
And you're giving up a pick. I don't get the move. I don't understand it.
And just initially, I thought it was a cap dump until I looked at their
No,
contract.
okay, you do not save any money with these jokers.
Well, that's what I mean. It's because there's a lot of big name free agents coming up this offseason. And so I was like, oh, okay, Cuban's like, oh, we're in a good position. Even without Porzingis, we probably still make the playoffs and probably have like another first round exit. And then we get a massive free agent and then we go.
Yeah.
But I don't. Are they gonna trade?
I saw that trade, right? I didn't know the cap impact that those two jokers had, right?
I didn't.
So I was like, okay, it's a cap relief
dump,
with all these guys. And then I thought that we were getting the pick.
Yeah.
And then the more I read into the actual trade, the more angry I got with what I was reading. I was like, this makes no sense.
Yep.
Quick side note, if you hear noise in the background, the Masters is going on in Ryan's living room right now. So the cheers you hear are from that happening in the living room right now.
That's exactly what it is. But I mean, what do we think of Porzingis in Washington? Because Beal had season-ending injury or season-ending injury surgery.
They got Kuz.
They did get
Kuz. Oh boy,
they got Kuz. They got Kuz and KCP.
Yeah,
what a dude, Kuz.
So we'll see. We'll see what Washington looks like. We'll see how Porzingis looks. I mean, and like I said, we'll see with Dallas. I mean, I don't think any Dallas fan is happy with the trade. So hopefully they know something we don't. Hopefully they're either trying to dump off Bertans or something, and maybe Dinwiddie's better than expected. I guess we'll see another few trades that happened around the league. CJ McCollum. So the Blazers just blew it up. The Blazers are like, screw this. Like they're not doing the Dame McCollum thing anymore. CJ goes to the Pelicans. The Pelicans are kind of nasty. When Zion comes back, bro, the Pelicans are gross.
At this point, bro, it's an if.
Well, okay, yeah. If Zion comes back and is able to play at the level that he was at his best, like that team's nasty.
Yeah.
McCollum, Ingram, Zion, that is wow. Like I'd be really interested to see what they look like in the future. But
Magic made a good trade too. They got Bol, PJ Dozier, a future second-round pick in cash for a 2023 second-rounder. Build a little bit of depth there for the Magic, who are the absolute worst team in the NBA. I'm kind of scrolling through these. I know the Blazers got Ingles. I don't know if I ever pronounced that name right. Ingles.
I think.
Ingles.
Where did Sabonis go? I forget.
Sabonis went to the Kings.
That's right. Yep.
Pacers traded Halliburton.
No, the Pacers got Halliburton.
Excuse me, Pacers got Halliburton. Sorry, I don't like how the website has this set up. But Pacers got Halliburton, Hield, and Tristan Thompson.
Ugh,
and the Kings got Sabonis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, and a second rounder. I feel like they're just trading shit for shit at that.
Sabonis is really good.
Those are two teams that like those trades don't really like either help you get that much better or they don't help you rebuild.
I don't. Yeah, it doesn't make sense in terms of the. Oh wait, didn't the Pacers? Didn't Karis LeVert go to Cleveland?
Yes, I think so.
That team might be okay. I mean, you got Garland, Sexton, and LeVert. Levert's a scorer.
I love that trade for the Pacers though. The Pacers got Rubio, a lottery-protected 2022 first rounder, a 2022 second rounder, and another 22 second rounder, and Rubio.
In what trade? Oh, it was. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Sorry.
Levert trade.
Yeah, that is actually a lot. That's a lot of value for Levert.
Yeah. So I think the Pacers definitely did a little bit better. That Pelicans Blazers trade is a lot. That's kind of wild.
There's a lot going on there. Like I said, I mean, the Pelicans could be really, really scary. We'll see. What is your guys' early finals predictions for this year?
We already did this on episode 1.
Have they changed?
No.
Dude, you're locked in. We locked them in.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said.
Probably $100 on it.
Well, I mean, after the trades, I feel like I would probably change mine.
The trade deadline doesn't exist.
What'd you say?
Trade deadline doesn't exist.
I don't think any of the big hitters made a lot of trades.
The Nets.
The Suns,
they got Simmons.
the Suns and Warriors Nets weren't making shit.
What do you mean? Oh, okay. Well,
Were all the injuries and Kyrie's status up in the air?
Yeah.
That wasn't going to happen.
KD though. KD dragged him to the conference finals last season.
Kicking and screaming.
he dragged him to a game 7, and he was he was a toe away from taking him to the finals.
But the East is better this year.
Yes,
the East is much better this year.
Yeah, which is very true. Very true. And the Bucks haven't really lost any steam, so I'm interested to see what the Bucks are like.
I mean, the Bucks are 5th seed currently, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, but they're fine. Giannis does Giannis things.
Yeah.
To kind of
Wizards might make a play-in game. They're at the 11th seed currently at 26-30. I think with KP they.
But they don't have Beal anymore.
Oh, that's right.
Most of those wins were from Beal.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Totally forgot Beal's dead.
That's all on me. Can anybody give me a Winter Olympics medal count update? I know we should probably address that. It's kind of full steam here. It's about 5 days left. Maybe a little like
the US is not doing great.
Germany had a surprising amount. All right.
How long has the podcast been going for? I was trying to guess or think if I should bring up another topic.
About 15 minutes.
Yeah.
About 50, you said?
Yeah. Yeah, you can
okay. We're actually up to 3rd in medals now.
Let's go.
Sorry, Robbie.
We're huge.
We're up to 3rd in gold medals. We're 3rd.
Huge.
We're 4th in overall.
Very nice. Can you give me like the top 3 medal leaders?
Yeah, it's Norway with 12 golds and 26 overall. Germany with 9 golds and 18 overall. The United States with 7 golds and 17 overall. And then the team that's ahead of us in total medals is the Russian Olympic Committee.
Oh, yeah.
And they have 4 golds with 20 medals overall.
Yep.
Those commies.
And Canada has the same amount of overall medals, but they only have 2 golds because they're trash.
They're bad. I actually saw the one of the golds and silvers at the US one. After the Super Bowl, the
monobob.
Yeah, the women's
monobob.
That the first place lady was absolutely cracked. Out of her, she beat second place by a second and a half. Well, the second place was an American, so it was American, Canadian for 1, 2, 3. But she beat her by a second and a half.
She was the 2-time defending Olympic champion for Canada, and she US because I guess she was like coach abuse or something.
She had coaching staff issues. But let's go. Yeah.
USA.
USA, baby.
USA.
So there's your
I didn't watch the monobob because I was too busy just staring at FanDuel and all that I had.
$500.
So I was busy.
Are you leaving that in lending, right? Are you taking out like a little bit of profit, or what are we doing?
Oh no, I took out the 500. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That's profit for sure.
Come on.
Gotta pay taxes on that.
No, you don't. Not until you go over 600 withdrawn.
Oh.
I looked it up. Let's go.
Ryan,
IRS is like, write that down. Write that down.
Ryan, you said you wanted to bring something up?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, we're just on the NBA track, and I like hot takes and potentially upsetting people. So I was reading ESPN's top 10 NBA players of all time.
Oh, God.
Yeah, this gets people irritated.
Carson's going to have a lot to say about this one.
I'm sure he does, and I don't really care because it's Carson. But we're going to go through this. Number 10 and up, and I'm going to get your feelings. I'm going to read off the list first.
Yep.
And then we're going to come back and talk about this. All right.
Yeah.
Number 10, Shaq. Shaq Daddy, Shaquille O'Neal. Number 9, the Cobster. Number 8, Tim Duncan.
Okay.
Number
Where's KG?
7.
Stop with your KG.
Number 7, Larry Bird.
Okay.
Number 6, Wilt.
Will the still? Yeah.
5 is Magic.
AIDS. Yeah.
4 is Russell. 3 is Kareem.
Yeah.
Green.
2, LBJ. And 1, his highness, the heir.
His airness.
Airness, whatever. And the Jordan.
I don't love Russell being that high.
Yeah, I agree.
Just
I
it's
think
like
the new
that,
generation has no respect for Russell because I'm also in the same boat, right? Like that
yeah.
team, that Celtics team is ridiculous. They won like what 11?
Yeah, it was like 11
rings.
championships.
It's like how many of his stats came?
But he was
from?
going to, other than Chamberlain, he was going against poopers, like absolute poopers.
He was going against us out there playing basketball.
Literally us. Yeah, no, that's literally what it was. So that's the only reason that I have. I mean, Duncan could drop 1 or 2, maybe.
Yeah, I was trying to think of who I thought was the biggest snub out of the top 10. Here, hold on, we can get
Elijah one. I love Hakeem Olajuwon. I think Hakeem Olajuwon is the most underrated player of all time.
So 11 through 15, real quick. They have the Big O at 11, Olajuwon at 12,
Okay.
Steph at 13, Katie at 14, and Dr. J at 15.
Where's the round mound of rebound?
The Barkster.
Parks.
Sir Charles.
Sir Charles. God, I guess you do have to put Steph up there. Jeez,
23.
just thinking about his accomplishments.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
KG at 20. I got Dirk above KG. Let's go!
Yes, sir.
That is terrible.
What
That
are
is
you
awful.
doing?
KG versus Dirk in their primes, dude. KG would take that man to town.
Dirk would
KG
Dirk would hit a
is
fadeaway
ass.
3 every play. Oh, wait, hold on. Ryan.
Hold up.
KG is ass.
KG averaged 18, 10, 4, and a steal and a block a game. Dirk averaged 21, 7.5. That's the only stat they have for him.
He's a shooter.
It's like, yeah, he's a scorer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
he's,
the best.
he's a shooter.
Best shooting 7-footer ever. I don't think it's a debate.
If KD is 7 foot, then I think we just KD
Yeah,
up there.
but he's not listed at 7 foot. But yes. Who are your guys?
Top 3.
I mean, I don't think that's a bad top 10. I would probably rearrange a little bit, but I think that's pretty much all the correct players. I could make an argument for Olajuwon being up there.
I agree with the Olajuwon take. I am also an Olajuwon homer.
I love Olajuwon.
I think Jordan retired to avoid Olajuwon. And that's I'm gonna go to my
Yeah,
grave.
Jordan was scared.
Jordan
I
was
agree.
scared. Who are y'all's favorite NBA players of all time? Ryan, don't give me Dirk. Give me someone
Kobe.
other than Dirk. Give me someone other than Kobe.
White
Second
chocolate.
favorite. Oh yeah, Jason Williams.
AI?
All right.
Eh.
I'm not an AI
Like
fan either. I don't like AI.
Oh,
I hate Dwayne Wade. How about that?
You hate
Again,
Dwayne
Mavs-
Wade?
practice?
Mavs homer
Oh, you just
take.
hate the 2006 finals. You don't
Yeah.
hate D Wade.
Do you also hate Shaq then?
Yeah, you hate Shaq.
No, I love Diesel. Diesel's the homie.
I love me some Tracy McGrady.
D-Mac.
If Tracy McGrady go ahead, Ryan.
Keep it. No, you keep going.
I was saying if Tracy McGrady hadn't
No,
gotten
you
his,
keep going.
if Tracy McGrady hadn't gotten his oh please. If Tracy McGrady hadn't gotten his career derailed by injuries, I firmly believe he'd be in the top. I'm not gonna go overboard. I firmly believe he'd be in the top 15 all time.
Ooh, I don't know if he's top 75.
No, I was saying like if he had
If he
been
hadn't
derailed by
gotten
injuries. I'm not saying now. I'm not saying if he had gotten derailed by injuries. Also,
Okay.
I'm a big Vince Carter fan because who isn't?
Yeah.
We love some
We
VC.
love VC.
Man
Yo,
doing windmills at 41 in dress clothes. What the
Yeah,
hell
it was
is
kinda-
what the
that
hell
was-
is that?
Gilbert Arenas?
I hate him on Instagram, bro. He's so annoying. Oh my god, he's so annoying on Instagram. But yeah.
They have Vince Carter, 55, best all time.
Yeah, he deserves to be in top 75. What do you guys think of Monte Ellis?
Really, probably top 20
on his worst day.
I need to go look and see what transpired to move him from Oakland, because that would have changed the whole outlook of the Warriors.
Yeah, because he was there when Steph was a rookie.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
he was the first option. I think
when
Steph was a rookie.
He was.
So I don't remember. I wasn't following the NBA as closely. I was probably
remember he came to the Mavs for a little bit.
They have T-Mac at 52 all time.
Yeah.
Above Gary Payton, Paul Pierce.
That's a little
VC, Ray Allen, Clyde Drexler, Manu.
How do you have
Parrish? Dennis Rodman.
I take offense to the Gary Payton and the Drexler takes. Like, I love Tracy McGrady, but that's that's disrespectful.
The glove? You don't like the glove?
Drexler's 57, Payton's 53, T-Mac's 52.
That's
a little.
Sorry, random thought. Next tier list, nicknames, best nicknames in sports.
I love it.
That's actually a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna ask you one question, Robbie, and then we'll move to the tier list, and then we can wrap it up. Robbie, I know you asked us, but are there any video games that you're looking forward to coming out this year?
God of War Ragnarok is going to be insane.
Yeah, you're God of War homer.
If you've not played God of War, technically the fourth one, but the first one of this installment, it is out on PC now. If you're a PC gamer, obviously it's been out on PlayStation, but legitimately one of the best single player games I've ever played. Easily top 5. It's a good time. So that comes out this year. That's the one I'm probably most excited for.
It's still $50 on Steam. That makes me sad.
Well, because it just released like a couple weeks ago on Steam.
No, Forehead, the OG one. Oh, wait. No, never mind. I'm stupid. Yes, you're right. It just did. Come back for a short commercial break.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into our tier list here. And the tier list that we're doing is every Super Bowl since 2010. Now, the Bengals-Rams one isn't on here, so we'll just discuss that, and obviously we kind of discussed it initially. So the first thing that I see on this list is the Ravens versus the 49ers. Ray Lewis, Colin Kaepernick, kind of the headliners of those two teams. What are your guys' memories of that game?
The blackout game.
Blackout, yeah. 100% the blackout. Ray Lewis' last game. How's about it?
Colin Kaepernick in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco officially establishing himself as an elite quarterback.
Is that what we're using? Is that the terminology we're using?
That's the term. Yeah. I was gonna say solid ass game. Like, I think there's a lot of memorable things that came out of this game. I honestly couldn't tell you what the final score was off the top of my head. But I remember it being a solid game.
All right, we'll put it in solid ass game. We got last year's Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Toilet break.
Ryan had a very different experience than a lot of other people last year, apparently.
Kidding.
There's one game on this list I'm very excited for Ryan and I to discuss. We had a shared experience during one of these games.
We'll put the Bucs versus Kansas City because obviously Kansas City had sustained an immense amount of injury, especially on their offensive line, which didn't allow for them to move the ball down the field at all during that game. And the Bucs just absolutely destroyed them. So that was not the most fun game to watch. We have the Eagles versus the Patriots, then Philly special.
Edge of my balcony.
I'm assuming that this is the game that you guys have shared.
This is the game.
So Ryan and I decided before the game started that we would shotgun a beer for every score. So like every touchdown or field goal, we gave ourselves a break on extra points. And this ended up being the highest scoring Super Bowl of all time.
Yeah. It was, for the people out there that don't want to go and look up this final score, it was 41-33. And we were shotgunning a field goal, and
we did it, and we did in fact finish the game. We did it for every score, but
Yeah.
I was unwell.
Yeah, and then we also tried to go out like it wasn't a Sunday night at like 10 o'clock after the game. Like we were like, yeah, let's hit the bars. Like any bar is gonna be open. It's a Sunday.
Roaming the streets like, bro, why is nobody out?
Why is nothing open?
Oh my god. So in terms of the game itself,
Also, like, legitimately edge of my seat. That was a great game.
It was a very good game. We have Robbie's absolute heartbreak, the Panthers versus the Broncos, in which Cam sold the game, I would argue.
I'd say Robbie's probably edge of his seat because the entire time. I'd say it was a solid game.
I think it was
it was a solid game. I don't even know how like the Panthers lost that game because they were definitely the better team that year. Just could not block Von Miller.
I know. I swear it was because Newton like fumbled at the 50 or something, and then the Broncos recovered.
But that was the Cam Newton fumble where he didn't dive on. It was the very end of the game.
Okay,
that's what I'm thinking. The very, very end of the game.
Yeah.
And like pretty much like it was the Panthers' last chance to go back down the field and score to win.
Yeah.
And he didn't dive on the ball. So I mean, I don't know if he sold. It was one of those things like going in the game. Like I think most people probably thought the Panthers were going to win. They'd been the better team essentially all year. Peyton Manning was a shell of his former self, but couldn't block Von Miller.
Yep. Next we have the why the hell did Pete Carroll decide to throw the ball game? The Patriots versus the Seahawks, where Malcolm Butler had a incredible interception on the goal line after they decided not to run the ball in with Marshawn Lynch, who was arguably the best running back at the time.
I feel like you have to go edge of your seat. I mean,
that was a great game. Another vintage Brady. They were down 14 points or down 10 points going into the fourth quarter. They come back and win again. One of the greatest Super Bowl interception of all time.
Easily.
Like pretty wild.
Yeah.
Easily. Another one, we got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Denver Broncos.
43-8.
Yeah, toilet bowl.
Was it that bad?
It was a blowout.
It was really bad.
Wow. I don't remember it being that bad.
Didn't the Seahawks didn't they pick off Peyton early and like take it to the house and then
like first play?
Yeah, I remember it just really going downhill really fast.
And I distinctly remember seeing somebody had put a bet on that.
First play being a touchdown?
Yeah. So Connor, just to remind you, the end of the first half was 22-0. It was 36-0 at one point.
Bro, like this was the
worst Super Bowl probably in 21st century.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was bad.
I was over at Cooper's house. We were watching it there, and we're like, what are we watching?
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
I don't remember that game so well. But next we have the Patriots versus the Rams.
Still Sunday night. I think it was like 13-3.
Oh yeah,
what I remember.
It was. Yeah, it was. They brought up the score during Sunday's game, so it was 13-3.
Yep.
Kind of a snooze fest, but
barely above you.
Yeah.
We're just chilling, I guess. Next we got Kansas City versus the 49ers. Chiefs versus the 49ers.
That was a solid game. The Chiefs came back and got the win, but I don't think it was a crazy game on the level of a couple of the games we put up there so far.
Agreed. Next, I know you guys have a.
Wait, where did we put that? I was zoning out.
I said solid ass game.
Bottom of solid ass game. That's where I'm gonna put it.
So I know you guys got a Saints fan who's a friend of yours. So we got the Saints versus the Colts.
I was trying to remember what happened in this game. This was the 2010 game.
Yep. I have no recollection of this game, if I'm being honest.
The Saints won, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Saints did win.
Huge.
Colts rolled over in the fourth quarter.
I mean, we don't have anything in you yet, and considering none of us really remember this game, I feel like.
What was the score? What was the final score?
It was 21-17. I feel like I think it was probably a better game than the Pats-Rams game.
It was put it in the middle. All right, next we got the Green Bay Pittsburgh game.
I do remember this game being kind of like really run of the mill. Like you thought that Rodgers and Roethlisberger were going to go like absolutely insane, and I think they did well, but they didn't do anything like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember, honest to God. Packers were 10-6 in the regular season for this, and the Steelers were 12-4. I think they were actually the favorite coming in.
What was the final score?
31-25. This was the
that's
game
pretty-
in Arlington.
Well, but if it was that close, I feel like I got to put it in solid ass game.
Yep, I guess
That
fair.
close. We got the
Ben threw 2 picks. Classic
One-
Big Ben.
one that I feel like most people remember, the 28-3 comeback, the Patriots versus the Falcons.
This is my seat.
Ryan, we should make up for our talking about skipping class earlier by stating that we were actually in the library studying during this game.
Sure.
Legitimately,
Wait,
were in-
why?
But we were studying.
we had
Why?
a test Monday.
Yeah, an ass clapping test.
What professor put a test on the Monday after the Super Bowl?
Some engineering professor that really didn't like us.
It wasn't just us. We had multiple. There was 4 or 5 people
Yeah.
in this thing.
We had a whole study room locked down in the
Jesus.
library.
Henry brought a 18 pack of beer in his
Yeah,
backpack.
He was trying to get one out of his book bag, and there was a metal bar underneath the desk that he was working at, and he accidentally busted the beer open and sprayed it all over the study room.
Yeah, I remember Alyssa got drenched. She was very unhappy with that.
Not pleased.
Nice. So I feel like obviously that's got to go on edge of my seat. I mean, one of the best comebacks in NFL history from Thomas Brady.
Is that the best game of the last 10 years?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Look,
Right.
Patriots 3 edge my
Yeah,
seat games, dude. Just looking at this list, right? This is the last 10 Super Bowls. Can I do math? Last something Super Bowls. 12. 12 Super
Huge.
Bowls.
Nailed that.
And Brady is in what, half of them?
Yeah.
1, 2,
Correct.
3, 4, 5, 6. That's insane. It's just one dude.
Yep.
And he produced all these absolute bangers of games. And I can't imagine putting this last one below solid ass game.
Yep. And last we have the New York Giants versus the New England Patriots.
Not the David Tyree helmet catch game, though. The other Super Bowl that
Yeah.
the Giants won against the Patriots.
Yeah, because Eli Manning owns Tom Brady.
Correct. Tom Brady hadn't beaten the NFC East in the playoffs until he beat the Washington Commanders last year. He was 0-3 because he lost to the Giants twice and the Eagles once.
That's
The
actually
Commies.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The worst division in all football.
And this one was the opposite Tom Brady. The Patriots were up going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's right.
And they I can't say choked, but they
They got
Eli'd.
Eli'd.
Tony Romo's better.
Do we want to put it in solid ass game? Bottom of solid ass
This
game?
game.
Yeah.
So we don't have anything in U. Do you want to put anything in U?
No. I think the two that are in toilet break
Yeah.
deserve to be in toilet break.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I
Toilet
agree.
break.
I'd be okay with putting the Pats Rams in you.
That
if
was
we
the one I
wanna
was
have
thinking
one
as
in
well.
each.
Okay, we'll put it in U. Make it a little more spread out. All right, I think so.
Yeah, I
obviously,
like this list.
obviously everyone at home can see this, but yeah, it's a pretty solid list. I can respect it. Where would you put the Super Bowl from this year? I'd probably put it in solid ass game.
Solid ass game.
Would you?
I think it's got to be up there for the most boring 3-point game I've ever watched. Actually.
yeah.
It was.
The third quarter was slow.
Yeah, it was.
Third quarter was abysmal. The
Especially-
first half was
especially-
fun.
Did anybody score in the third quarter?
I don't think so.
The Bengals scored at the very beginning.
Did
They scored 10 points right at the very beginning.
Higgins thing.
T. Higgins, and then they kicked the field goal after the pick.
That was the third quarter.
Yes.
I thought that was
Like
the
It was right
second
out of
quarter.
halftime.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Right after
what the
halftime.
hell? That's
They
weird.
also had 2 field goals. Bengals had another field goal, and the Rams had a field goal. So I guess I'm just.
It felt
Yeah.
so much slower. Probably after everything happened, it just got really lucky.
Yep.
But yeah, so that is our tier list, and that is pretty much our episode for the week. You guys got anything else you wanna talk about, or kind of just?
Nothing else I want to talk about. I think we mentioned it earlier, though. We're going to try to get back on a normal schedule of recording the podcast, not just recording it random days of the week. So next week we will record on Sunday.
Yep.
Get it out at a normal time. We're out of football to talk about, though, so I don't know what we're going to talk about. But
We'll talk more about each other. I don't know. Yeah, something to do with that. Ryan,
Alabama basketball.
yeah, exactly. Well, we'll get more into the NBA and stuff, especially as after the trade deadline and everybody's going to start getting into the playoffs. So we'll get more into the NBA probably. It was a great NFL season, probably arguably the best NFL playoffs of all time. Ryan, do you want to sign us out for good?
I would if I could say my fact I learned today.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah,
Of course. We got for the fact of the
please.
day.
My weekly fact.
Of course.
Today I learned that Paul McCartney was arrested in Japan in the 1980s for possession of 220 grams of marijuana. Just for fun. Out in Tokyo, having a good time.
Was he on the Yellow Submarine?
Bars.
You might call it that. Somebody might call
he
it
might
that.
have been on the Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, I think he might have.
Yeah. They it was him and his family, his 4 children and his wife, and they searched his bag and found, I don't know, a quarter kilo of weed. So
Nice.
good stuff. I've never taken drugs through TSA, but guess I should just ask Paul McCartney.
Fortune.
You've taken alcohol through TSA. That's a technically.
I didn't get it through, and it was totally an accident.
Oh, you threw it.
Yeah, sure it was.
Remember, it was the same suitcase that I brought down to the wedding, and I still had the 5th of wild turkey in there, and I somehow forgot to take it out.
For what?
Well, I was just traveling, right, and
for
the wedding, and I was using the same suitcase that I had at the wedding that we had like the booze in.
Oh yeah.
And I forgot to totally unpack it. And so like this guy just pulls out a 5th of wild turkey and just kind of looks at me and like, I what do you want?
I forgot that was in there.
It was like what was that for, Connor? Was that Thanksgiving? Was traveling for? Or was that?
I think. Yeah,
that would make sense right after the wedding, yeah.
Yeah. And
or did
I think it was or was it Christmas?
No, was it fall break?
No, it was Thanksgiving, I think.
So I was like, around that same time, I tried to take knives through TSA. So
I've definitely gotten like a box cutter or 3 through.
Well, so I was down visiting Maddie in Orlando, and she got me this like Death Star cutting board, like a charcuterie board, and it came with like charcuterie tools in the middle of it, and knives. And so TSA, well, they like scan it through whatever, and they're looking at it, and they're like, "Do you have a cake in here?" Because it was like a big round object with like knives in it. I was like, no. And they put it down. They're like, you can't bring this through. I'm like, what do you mean? It's fine.
It's okay. I'm not going to attack anybody on the plane.
I promise.
Bro, just be chill. Chill.
Yeah. That all being said, thank you for tuning in to the Bros and the Berg podcast. I'm your talent, Ryan. This is for Connor and Robbie. Thank you again for listening. Hopefully be back tomorrow or next week. Hopefully get this podcast out on the 16th of this week and be recording on Sunday night next week. So look forward to that. Wherever you get your podcasts, just don't get them on Google Podcasts. Thank you for listening.
Gamble responsibly. Not everyone can be me.